Hello, Forecaster here again, and we are back for episode 69. And first, I want to give you a preemptive apology. In the last two episodes, when I recorded, I forgot I had set my recording program to merge the game sound and my voice into a single audio track. So if the sound sounds weird in those episodes, it's because I was unable to adjust the volume separately for the game sound and my voice. I have fixed this, and hopefully it will remain fixed in future episodes as well. Now, I want to add some more automation to my ore processing. So far I have had to move the dusts from this crate here to the crucible furnace manually. But now this emerald pipe is going to extract the dusts automatically and put them in this hopper, which is going to insert them into the crucible furnace. And that is the reason why I put these this sorting up and the multiple casters, because there's going to be small amounts of dust coming in, maybe not in the right order. So I made this list, and a list is made from 8 paper, green dye, and a piece of redstone in an assembly table. And the list allows you to specify a filter that only takes up a single slot. It also has features like ore dictionary detection and type detection. So, for example, it'll list all dusts will be provided by this filter. I don't want that, however, because I'm getting coal dust in here from processing slag, and I don't want coal dust or clay dust to be sent into the crucible furnace. So I'm going to have to add dusts manually to this filter as I get them. I had access to these types of dusts, but I only had a large pile of gold dust. But I'm going to insert this into the emerald pipe in the slot here, and it's going to remain at whitelist, of course. Then I'm going to put a basic gate on it with an autarkic chip in it. I'm going to set that to energy pulsar, and then redstone signal on. Now, I'm not sure how effective this is going to be. Let's try putting on the gold gate, and we're going to turn on all 4 to pulse this. We're going to see what happens. If I do this, what happens then? It starts to pull things out. So why doesn't the filter work, I wonder? That's odd. So if I put this on top, set it to energy pulsar, and it has tiny pile of gold dust, which I have here, and these should be the same. So if I put the list in there, it should pull those out. Let's turn this on again. For some reason it's not. What happens if I add the dust to the pipe? Nothing. Not sure what's up with that. What about lead dust? No? I have no idea why this is happening. As far as I know, this should be working. There's some lead dust. So it's only able to actually pull stuff out occasionally. That might have something to do with the crate being so large, I guess. I'm going to go upstairs and get my radiation suit on. Because I need to pick up some uranium, some processed uranium, and that's not particularly healthy unless you have a radiation suit on. I wonder what happens if I make the crate smaller. Not a whole lot, apparently. Right. And if I remove this, doesn't seem to have helped all that much. Now all of a sudden it's pulling stuff out. I have no clue what's up with that. Let's put one of the lockers in here and empty my inventory a little bit. I have way too much stuff on me. I need that. So there may be something wrong with the list, I guess. Maybe it doesn't work the way I think it does. Maybe. Although it doesn't seem to help to add stuff. To there. Let's do some quick testing, I guess. If I take gold dust out and flip the pipe and put it in here. So if I turn on the blacklist and remove those, then it pulls them out. So why doesn't the whitelist work properly? is my question then. I would suspect there is something wrong. It's clearly the same item. Oh, there it went. Now it pulled it out. Is it based on the amount? Shouldn't be. Now it pulls things out like it's supposed to. Let's try the list again then. Still has gold dust and no special conditions. So if I add the list instead of the item, there it goes. Now if we turn the pipe around again, does it send them back? It doesn't. It might be that the reason it's so slow. So I think the way the crate works with non-player interactions, like when pipes or other tile entities try to access its contents, it provides a random stack upon each interaction. So the pipe can only see one stack at a time. And if that stack doesn't match the filter, it's not going to pull it out. But it might not reinitialize or request a new stack until after a while. So it might see the same stack for a while. So to do this, I think what I'm going to want to do is get rid of the crate here. So we're going to put the crate here instead. So let's rearrange things a bit. I wonder if I can move this over without things spilling out. I probably can't. So I'm going to put a locker here instead. Or maybe I can. Yeah, that worked. So I'm going to put a locker here instead, like this. So this is going to be the output of the sorting. So if I put a pile of gold dust in here, it should output it into the locker. Then we're going to have the emerald pipe under here, and we're going to have the basic gate on the side there, and we're going to have this set to energy pulsar, and then it's going to constantly pulse, but I'm not going to turn it on just yet because it will just spill stuff out. Then we'll put a diamond pipe here to sort things, and we're going to put a pipe that goes in here, whoops, and like so, and then here we're going to put the crate like this, and you have to remember to click the existing crates or they're not going to connect. So now we can put the pipe like that. Then this sorting pipe is going to be responsible for sending the correct items to the right place. So here we have our dust list. So we're going to place a copy of that in the yellow So all the dusts and things that are going to be smelted are going to be sent down this way. So everything is going to be pulled out of the locker. Dang. And then it's going to be sorted. So let's just throw everything in here. Like so. And then the things that are not going to be smelted will go into this crate here, and the things that can be smelted are going to go to get smelted simply. So we're going to turn this on now, and that should start. I have to set it to blacklists so it pulls out everything. And if there is something we don't want it to pull out, we can just take one of it and add it to the blacklist. Don't really need an emerald pipe there right now. I could put in a wooden pipe, but I don't use the emerald pipes for something, or need all the emerald pipes for something specific right now anyway. So soon things should start popping in there, which is good. And of course it's going to take a little bit to go through to get all of this stuff out, but once it's done it should have no problems keeping up with the ore processing setup. Speaking of which, do I have anything that needs processing? That's not my mining bag. Don't think so. No, I don't. You are supposed to be over here. You should be in there. I've made no progress with the computer. I haven't continued working on that yet. Something I have done, though, is I've found that making these circuit boards from open computers has been kind of a pain, and that is mostly because spiders have decided to start hiding from me. Mobs in general have been kind of scarce up on the surface for some reason. They are spawning. I've seen them. They've spawned in my base, and there are mobs outside, but there aren't as many as there usually are, and there aren't that many spiders. And even when there are spiders, they don't tend to drop spider eyes a lot, which are required to make grog. And grog is required to make circuit boards, and you only get one circuit board per grog. So I've been having trouble getting the resources to make these circuit boards. So what I've done is I've added the PCB from Railcraft to the ore dictionary under the same name that these circuit boards are, which you can see in gray in the tooltip there. So if I hit the recipe on this adapter, you'll see that it'll allow crafting using Railcraft circuit boards as well. And I think this is a fair trade, because the open computer circuit board isn't very expensive. The circuit board, the board itself costs some clay, some dye, and an iron nugget, which is pretty much nothing. And the printed circuit board costs grog, which is annoying to craft because of the spider eye, and a gold nugget, which is also next to nothing. while the pneumatic craft, dang it, the pneumatic craft circuit board costs 6 of these components. Each of these cost an iron ingot, which is a lot more than an iron nugget and a gold nugget. And then the board itself costs another iron ingot, not to mention the plastic, which costs a lot of coal to make. And coal is also a resource I usually don't have a lot of. I have a bunch now because of the mining drone, which is nice, but it's still pretty scarce. And iron I have a good supply of, but this is still not a whole lot. I've had way more before. So now I can either... Oh, hello. I need to put a door in that hole, apparently, because there have been mobs coming in that way recently. But so now I can either use a cheap recipe that uses more rare components, or I can use a very expensive recipe, but that use things that are easier to get than spider eyes. Which I think is fair. This is still going. So hopefully now I'll be able to get things going with the computer. And also, some of these, there are some. This recipe still requires the just the board, so I'm going to have to use the Open Computers one for that. But some of these things that use the circuit board requires multiple of them even. Usually it's the more expensive stuff, of course. Most things require just one, I think. But some of the things I'm going to want to make, at least eventually, like this card base, for example, which is used to make all other cards, I think, pretty much, requires 2 of them. So I think this is fair. I don't think it's fun being held up by RNG, especially when the mobs I need are so few and far in between. So I'm going to go with this. Well, dang it. Don't need... I'm going to plug this for now until I can put in a door over there. And this is still going, about halfway through. It's fine. I'm going to put facades on these pipes, of course. Just need to make a few of them. This has run out of battery, so we can charge that up in there. This is doing fine. Still a long way to go on that rotor. The drones work better now. The one of the latest builds of Pneumaticraft fixed the drones being little confused derps sometimes. It also fixed the refineries not accepting Buildcraft oil anymore, so my refinery is going again. All the lubricant should be done by now. It's not. It's still... it's backed up on kerosene. guess I can put that back now. Then I can remove it again because I don't want... there's a hopper underneath here that contains some kerosene that it's pulled out of this. Whoops. That's not what I meant to do. I don't want that to pull out the lubricant if all the kerosene is emptied out, and the kerosene would go into there normally. So don't want that. This had backed up though, so the refinery had stopped producing diesel. I've been making lubricant because I intend to make a bunch of speed upgrades that I'm going to use for various things. Mostly for the mining drone and its charging pad, because it's been a little slow to charge it. It's been a little annoying. Not much else going on. Still need to straighten this wall out here, probably. Though I'm not sure what to actually do with it. There's a lot of construction left to do, really. I would also like to get the nuclear reactor set up properly. Where's the rest of the components? I should have put them somewhere. I don't remember. I could have sworn there should be more stuff than this. Oh wait, no there wasn't. This was all I had. I was thinking of a layout I used for testing, I think. Made me confused. Let's put those away. I can put some of these pipes away as well, I think. But yeah, that's probably what I'm going to... One of the things I'm going to focus on, along with the finishing the computer, of course, is going to be getting the nuclear reactor set up. I want a proper fluid-cooled reactor, mainly as a backup power source, because the boiler is working fine. Nothing wrong with it at all. I might even want to upgrade it a step. I do think I can make it 4 blocks tall. Currently the tanks are 3 blocks, so I can add another layer, and then the final step will be to expand it 1 step outwards, which is going to be the final expansion. And then it's going to be a max-sized low-pressure boiler. But I'm probably not going to need that for a while. Might as well do the boiler expansion now. So I'm going to need 2 plates per tank, and I'm going to need 4 tanks. So I'm going to need 8 iron plates. See, there's some copper molten copper in there, some molten silver in there, some small amounts. I think that's a good system. It's a little, looks a little odd, but it works. Let's take these upstairs. We have reached the end of the episode, but I'm going to finish this just quickly before I end it. There. And we'll just make those into low pressure tanks. And then we can put them like that. Oh. Okay, apparently you can't do that. I thought the height was just the height of the tanks. Yeah, it should be. Oh yeah, the 2x2 boiler can only be 3 blocks tall. What happened to the first tank? There it is. Right, so it has to be 3x3 to be 4 blocks tall. So I'm going to the next expansion is going to have to be outwards. So I would have to move the steam oven, which is fine, and then expand it backwards and in this direction. I might want to do that because I've been having when the ore processing is running, there is a huge drain on my power reserves, and this boiler can't keep up, so I might want to do that. Alternatively, I can set up the nuclear reactor to act as to compensate for that. That might be a better option, actually. That'll make my fuel last longer. So, like I said, we've reached the end of the episode, a little over. So I'm going to end it here, and maybe in the next episode, we're going to have a look at building a proper nuclear reactor. So I will see you then.